Play it safe and spring break bummer, wah, 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 or take that risk and rock on, Garth. Well, it might not have to be such a dramatic decision if you're deciding whether to travel with the kids for spring break. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Patrick Nolan.
And I'm Jane Monreal. Tonight, Fox 4's Christina Evans spoke to a health expert to break down what families need to consider before leaving home.
For spring breakers, hopping on a flight to escape the routine of work and school has been the norm for years. But in the age of COVID-19, many families are considering the risk and wondering if their getaway is worth the reward.
As we're, progressing through the pandemic, the number of cases are coming down. People certainly want to take advantage, kind of get away for a little bit, maybe take advantage of spring break. I think people need to be aware of some of the regular precautions. It's going to be relatively pretty safe.
Studies show that driving instead of flying is a better way to limit your exposure to the virus, but there is no significant data saying it is unsafe to fly.
It really has shown that there is very limited exposure as long as people are wearing their masks on a plane for actually contracting COVID-19. So air travel does seem to be safe.
Hawk says that the biggest risk actually comes from the terminal as passengers gather while waiting to board the plane, which leads to the question of where to stay when you arrive. Renting a vacation home on popular sites like Vrbo and Airbnb is usually the more attractive option, simply because they provide a bigger space for families. But Hawk says you never know how well a home was cleaned before you arrive, so a hotel is going to be your best bet.
Certainly if you're staying in one of the larger hotel chains, they're undergoing several precautions. They're certainly cleaning the rooms. They're taking extra precautions to make sure that all their guests are safe.
When returning back from the break, Hawk says it's not necessary for you or your children to quarantine before jumping back into that routine of school and work, as long as you have not come in contact with anyone who's tested positive for COVID-19 and as long as you're not showing any symptoms. In Cape Coral, Christina Evans, Fox 4.
That expert also told Christine that he does think Southwest Florida could see a spike in cases after spring break season, not necessarily from folks who live here traveling away, but from tourists who visit our shores.